Good morning, good morning. Scott, I figured I'd just hit the record button this morning. Headed over to see my Pawpaw. I figured I'd just bring you along for a little bit till we get over to where I'm going. Stopped over here at the Waffle House, had me a little bit of coffee this morning. It's pretty good, pretty good. I gotta stop by the gas station, get a little bit of gas. It's gonna be about a 30-minute drive. Go up the road here, get some gas, and then we head on our way. Cannot see chat, so my apologies if you do comment or anything. I won't be able to see y'all because of driving, but I just put up some type of content. Cold this morning. Ended up getting home sometime yesterday after work and forgot to go feed the chickens. So I woke up like 10:26, sitting there feeling like I forgot something. It's about 1 or 2 o'clock this morning. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I pretty much just kind of closed my eyes, just laying there watching a little bit of anime or something. It didn't dawn on me I didn't feed the chickens because they ended up passing out. There, now it shall be quiet for 10 minutes, and then I gotta dismiss my other alarm. I'll probably go in my settings to do that. Get that gas real quick. cold. Golly, it's cold. Gotta go pick up the donuts, and then there goes the drive. Be about a 20-minute drive after that. Probably a little longer, I don't know. I'll see about checking up on these guys real quick. Well, hello. Yeah, this is a 72 model Chevrolet. '72 Chevrolet C30. Story behind this truck: it used to belong in Illinois, Murfreesboro, Illinois. It was at a shop there for about 20 years. And before that, it belonged to a Rawson's radiator shop. I think it's Rawson's. I probably butchered it. I kept butchering it for a while. Went from a Rawson's to a Scott's Body Shop in about the 80s. And it hung around Murfreesboro, Illinois for about 20 or so years. And then it got sold in 2003. And it was wheeled and dealed left and right amongst a whole bunch of people. So my Pawpaw John got it. And then I bought it off him. I actually paid him to get the carburetor rebuilt. I gave him like $200 to get the carb rebuilt, and he actually ended up putting that towards the bill. So I told my mama, I said, just have that $200 towards me getting this truck, which he was trying to sell it. So I worked on it here and there. It's a project. But actually, it's kind of a work truck, too. Pawpaw John, he sometimes gets some wheels and deals that need to be moved around the yard. Got vehicles. I actually had my truck break down on me. I went and picked up my own truck with this thing. Pulled up trees, shrubs, and stuff like that. It's been a good work truck. Tired, but I just wasn't able to sleep. I don't know what it was. This morning, today, I've got plans to see about working on my wife's car. She's got like a 2000 model Impala that's got a camshaft position sensor. I've been needing to replace it, but I haven't been able to get underneath the power steering pump to get to it. So that's going to be something within the plans today. My brother, he's got a lawnmower that's got a diesel motor, so I don't see about going picking that up. He doesn't want it. He told me I can use it for scrap metal, haul it off for scrap, because he said the motor's locked up on it. But I'll see if I can free that motor up, and then we'll see about slapping it in that 1990 Nissan, maybe. I got some plans for that Nissan. If any of you actually had been wondering about that little truck with the Predator 212 in it, it still runs. It hadn't been used. One of the brakes locked up, and I ended up burning the clutch out trying to get it over to my mama's house to use it for some cleanup. So the truck is kind of down right now, but I'm either going to replace the clutch, go ahead and use it more. I kind of given up on cleaning the yard over there, because it seemed like every time I'd take 2 steps forward, after like not being there for a week or something, I get like 2 or 3 steps back. So I plan to go back to that truck at some point. Right now I've got to focus on trying to get that pallet shop built, that pallet shed built, and then see about getting the yard cleaned up, getting all my tools in the location, so I can start doing doing small projects or using that to make a little bit of spare money to the side. Which I do plan on doing, like rebuilding carburetors. I do plan on doing that. Be a good little side hustle. At the moment, John's got his trailer piled up with trash cans, full aluminum cans. He hauls off cans for some extra money every now and then. And I don't personally have a trailer. I had to borrow his every time I do scrap. So at the moment, kind of at a pause on that. Probably get my S10, get to where I can haul stuff in it, but when it comes to the channel, though, I do plan on actually starting to do maybe some more live streams or videos and stuff. I got a few projects in mind. It's just going to take a hot minute until I'm able to get to them. I'm absolutely like sore from this week. We had overtime, and on top of overtime, I had been taking care of my mama's birds, which I don't mind. She got I think 70 plus chickens, and that doesn't include the quail, the guineas, the turkey, the ducks, sweet birds. They haven't been laying a lot either. I think it's because they've been missing her. She's been down in her back real bad, so she hasn't been able to go down there and see her birds. I'm having to go down there and help with her birds for her. So. And today, I figured I'd try to hurry up, get up early this morning, go down to what they call the Liars Club. Maybe your parents or your grandparents, maybe they know of the Liars Club. Usually where a bunch of old men gather around, they lie about their lives, or they tell stories, Nah, they got some good stories to tell. I'm about over here at the donut shop. I got to pick up the donuts. Those fellas, they're going to be surprised to see me. I haven't been over there in a while. I've been trying to make some trips over there pretty much every time I get a paycheck, so I know for sure I can get them some donuts before I end up showing up over there. I like going over there to listen to stories because think about it, someday you're not going to be able to go back to that and listen to any of that, So I try to do as much as I can, but it also gives me some time to go see my Pawpaw Larry. They get up early in the morning, go over there, drink coffee, do what they call shoot the shit, It's real fun going over there listening to them. I tell stories of my own. Trying to think of, I got that Impala to work on. I do got to fix that. I've got that 68 Chevrolet that we got the wiring harness for. I've got to start working on that at some point, start wiring everything back into it. Get a battery, I got a drive shaft I got to throw underneath it because I didn't realize, but when I got the truck, I didn't notice that the thing had a Bluetooth drive shaft, so I got to fix that. Past that, I've got, I'm trying to do a trade too. Trying to trade the van I got for a 75 Ford F350 tow truck. I think it's F350. Don't butcher me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not too high on the Fords. But that, and then there's a 62 Chevrolet. It's got a 3-speed transmission. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I think I'm a little too early for this donut shop. Yeah, I'm a tad bit early. Might actually... Man, what time is it? Check to see what time it is. I'm way too early. Let's see. 4:05, yeah. Yeah, it's 4:05 over here. 800 bucks for a 1988 long bed, 1500. That's not bad. Seized engine, haven't tried it myself, but I've heard sometimes springs. Yeah, I plan on doing ATF and I think acetone. I think that's what I'm going to end up trying on. I think that's what I'm going to try to use on it. Probably end up disassembling it too. But that's just a possible. I don't know if I'm going to be using that motor. I debated on buying one of those 10 horsepower diesels and putting in there. And the reason why I'm going for diesel, the way these gas prices are going, I want to say I'm going to start using canola oil. I fry bologna. You know, who doesn't like it? Some good old fried bologna every now and then. I figured about using some canola oil or doing the whole filtering down the used engine oil, you know, stuff like that. Because I mean, those naturally aspirated diesels, I'm not 100% for sure on it. I'm trying to read up more on it. But I mean, run those things off like hairspray, WD-40, just anything that's oilish and flammable. If not, just add a little bit of gasoline to it and make it, you know, flammable enough where it'll actually combust. But the way those prices are going, and also if I end up having to use like a little truck around the yard or something, I mean, might as well just burn something that you're not going to be using just to get somewhere to like say to work. Just going to right up here. Probably park for a minute. Should have sat at the Waffle House for a little bit longer before I started in. Way too early to get over there. I think I leave out usually about 5 o'clock, so it is a little early. I'll stop at the map, go get something to drink. Go in for a second, come back out. I'll leave y'all sitting in here while I go in real quick. It'll just be a minute. Don't even know where you park over here. Is that a spot? Yeah, that's a spot. I'll park right there. go get a quick drink real quick, and then I'll drive back. Sit here for a little bit, drink a snack on something, I guess, till I'm able to get those donuts, and then I'll be headed up on the other mountain over here. Right back. Right now, I got a guy pull up right here, just sitting here. Kind of sketchy. Whatever, really fine. There's another station up here I can get over to. Said due to staffing closed until 6, and I won't be long gone by then. Ah, jeez. Here and get a drink. Sit and wait for a minute. So go get those donuts.
Pretty good. Other than my Chevrolet was taking crap on me. Other than my Chevrolet taking crap on me. It's like a plate. Making the scrub bad. Oh, yeah? Yeah. How much was the charge from the back of the tank on it? Again? Oh, man.
Funny enough, I actually did that one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm about to see about going hang out with Pawpaw later. I'm sorry, but yeah, I can't go with this. Newer truck, ain't it? Oh, 86. Yeah. Is it a flex plate? Any side road stuff we could do? I don't think it really got. I don't even think it got my toolbox on it.
I got told all that. I'm trying to get back to the hospital. My son last night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figured it out, man. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry to hear about that, brother.
That's all good, man. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm having truck issues. He's telling me. Oh. Still an auction 2 years ago, 96 Dodge. That ain't bad. The dashboard is still intact. Dude, that's freaking amazing. I know those things just dry rot. They're like, they cease to exist. It's, what is it, like a one-use dash or 1 year dash? I don't know. I actually wonder how long those things actually last in those trucks. That 68 Chevrolet, it's kind of a funny story of how I got in it. So in some of those videos, I have the on the Nissan, it's got those Corvette rallies. If you ever see those Corvette rallies, and they're actually 6-lug Corvette rallies. You can order them from. You can like look it up on Amazon, and Speedway Motors sells them. But they're like, you can get the 15-inch by 7-inch rims, or you can get 15 by 8s in 6-lug. And I bought those, and they're about $110 after tax each. So about $400 in rims. They look sharp. They look real sharp. But I was wanting to have some Corvette rallies for either, between 67 to 72, because I'm looking have a daily driver that's a 67 to 72. I did buy a 68 Chevrolet. It turned out not to be worth anything. And then I come across this other one, I thought it was a 67 model GMC. Oh yeah. Does he weld the parts, or is it like a warehouse, or what's up on it? Oh, okay. Yeah, those rims. I think I ended up bought one tire. My stepdad, he had a couple of trailer tires and another road tire that would fit the wheels. I ended up putting them on those wheels and put it on that Nissan, because that Nissan, it ain't going to go no highway speeds. I think we got it. I think we got it up to 35 downhill with a tailwind. At most. But now here's the funny story about it. The wheels I probably had between like $600 to $800 in. Ended up taking. I think this guy I trade with all the time, or I go see him. I'll buy parts. Like I've gotten $100 or $200 parts for like 40 to 50 bucks, and I think he ended up selling me a truck bed that come off a Rex 4-door square body for, I think it was $250, because I'm going to take the bed liner out and weld it up. Well, the Nissan, the 90 Nissan, it was actually given to me by my Pawpaw Larry. It's run through, let's see, I think my uncle had bought it brand new, and then he sold it to my dad, which I think it went back and forth between one of my uncles buying it brand new, went to another uncle, went to my father, and then went to my Pawpaw. And the thing's got, I think, 352,000 miles on it. And the motor, like, we still have the motor for it. We still got the motor for it. It had the, I think, a 12 valve 2400. I'm not 100, I'm not too big in Nissans, so I don't know a lot on those. But I know for sure a lot of people, they love the Nissan hard bodies. So I got the he was going to end up scrapping it. What the situation was, I didn't want him to scrap it. Set this phone up where I can see a little better. He was going to end up scrapping it, and I told him, I said, I really don't want, it'd be a waste to scrap that truck, because there was no rust on it. There's like really no rust whatsoever, as in rust holes. It might have like surface rust, but it's nothing like body damaging rust. And he said, "Oh, if you want it, I'll give it to you." I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I ended up getting the truck. I think my stepdad was going to try to fix it up and try to buy it from me. It sat at my mom's for a little while, and then I brought it back, was going to try fixing it, and it just kind of sat in the yard. And I think I ended up getting the vehicle I needed. Then we ended up, it just sat there. It was just sitting there, and I was needing something for cleaning up the yard, and that's when I decided to put that Predator 212 in it. Being a nice, neat little project to have. And let's see, I did a little bit of like posting the YouTube stuff on it and stuff. That's how that kind of blew up. I was actually planning on doing some gaming. I wasn't really planning on having a YouTube on, just doing stuff like this, but it's fun. It's fun. Something I enjoy. I'd pretty easy to do, yard stuff. I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here talking. I'm kind of brain blank right at the moment. Golly. Yeah, rust damage. It can be scary. This is another reason why that first 68 Chevrolet I got, I ain't going to be using it. Quite literally, you can sit in the driver's seat or where the driver's seat's supposed to be, and you can see the ground from all the rust damage. And the doors is basically a part of the thing that's holding it together. Actually, we had a couple of my brothers help me out a little bit. One of them had an electric impact, and he knocked the bolts loose that's holding the cab on, the mounting bolts. And we ended up taking the cab off with the truck and pulling it off. I was going to try selling it for like $800. I think I paid $15 for it. And that's not including the parts here and there to try to get it to where it would run. Had the motor pulled so I can do some work on it, but I had the motor pulled. I was going to put an automatic transmission in it, and I was also going to see about putting a V8 in it, do power steering. But I was wanting an automatic transmission. I was having bad leg issues at the time. Back over on those wheels though, Joe, I had mentioned something a time or two about those 6-lug Corvette rallies, and I think it kind of rumbled in his mind. Brake pads, metal drums were cracked. Golly. It's probably the rust was the only thing holding that thing together. Oh, look, it's a doggo. Pet. In rust we trust. That should be on a bumper sticker. That should really be on a bumper sticker. Oh. Dang, I'm trying to wake up. My apologies if I'm sitting here long, silent pauses. I did not get any sleep, really. Yeah, old Joe, he ended up going over to my Pawpaw John and was to see about trading something. He seen those rallies on that Nissan, and it kind of caught his attention. Was going to see about trading for a lawnmower and a lawnmower trailer. He ended up getting rid of the trailer, so couldn't have done that deal. And he had that 68 Chevrolet sitting out there. It's a 68 Chevrolet with a 67 GMC front end clip. And I can't remember exactly what I went over there for. I think it was for a radiator. I blew the radiator on that 94 S10, and I was needing to get another radiator. And I figured I would, do a shit and giggle a deal with them about those Corvette rallies, because he really wanted those rallies. And I told him, I said, I'll trade you the Corvette rallies, those 6-lug Corvette rallies, the hubcaps I really don't want to get rid of, for one of these two trucks he's got, which he had a 67 Chevrolet C30 dump truck that had a V8 in it. It was I think either a 1-barrel, 2-barrel carb, that they had, the smaller ones. Which I don't even know why they really put those small carburetors on those bigger engines. Like, is this just like a Christine that just does not want to fix itself? The dump truck was it looked decently all right. I mean, you could see through the floor and some of it, so it would have to do a patch job. It was between the dump truck and the '68 Chevrolet I got, and I picked the '68 Chevy I got. It had more floor than anything. He offered another one, but it didn't have a roof. It needed roof work real bad. I did fairly good with the '68 though. It was a 6 lug, so I can go back, order another set of Corvette Rallies that's 6 lug and slap on it, and it'll look nice. Funny enough, though, he ended up putting those Rallies on a '62 Chevy, and then he turned around and him and John did a trade. So John ended up with the Corvette Rallies on the '62 Chevy. Now I'm trying to trade for that '62 Chevy, so I would have got the wheels back that I traded for a truck. But I'm trading. I want to try to trade a van that I've got about $3,000 worth in. I think like $2,300 I'd put into it just to buy the van. It needed a new fuel tank, receiving lines, fuel pump, which I replaced all that. Carburetors? What? Now, I worked on like this truck here, it's got a Holly 600. To me, it's fairly easy to work on a carburetor. It's not as bad as you think it is. If it's like a Holly 600, it's not. A Holly is not as bad as it sounds. Now, one barrel carbs and stuff like that, I've not played with it yet. I've not played with that yet. But at some point, if I can actually get rebuild kits for them, I also want to see about actually rebuilding stuff like that too. It really is. And like one of the things, for example, is about not turning it upside down. The whole reason why you don't turn it upside down is so you don't drain the bowl out and get gas everywhere. You can turn the carburetor upside down, it ain't going to hurt it. Like it shouldn't hurt it. You turn it like when you go to rebuild one, you take it, you put it over like some type of container, you turn it upside down to drain all the gas out of it before you start taking it apart because it's just going to run everywhere. Which, yeah, the carburetors, you have to be really careful because there's the careful thing about it, there's really, really small parts. There's really small parts, and that's made of aluminum. At least the carburetor I have is made of aluminum. Like this one is actually running with a stripped bolt. If I get stopped somewhere that's not here at a sketchy gas station, then I might actually stop and see about showing that carburetor. But if it's kind of like seeing a puzzle, taking it completely apart and just slapping it back together. It is cold out. But I think it's just more of the sketchiness is what's got me right now. A Mapco beside a Waffle House, and I've already had one conversation to a guy about which I feel bad for him. He had mentioned something about his needing to get his truck towed, and I told him that's the one thing though about it. I can't tow anyone. This truck, it doesn't have no towing insurance on it, and I've had people walk up to me and ask if I'm like ever for hire or anything. And I told him, I said, no, I can't do that, man. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Actually, this truck, it's useful, but it's not intended for road use towing unless it's my own stuff. I mean, I was at one this morning. I ate at a Waffle House. There was really nobody sketchy there. I think it's mainly the customers that show up as the sketchy people. And just the people that work at the Waffle House is just trained to deal with sketchy people. You know, that's why they're working during tornadoes and stuff. I mean, I've heard jokes that they're like the after the army fails, they're going to go for the people at Waffle Houses. It's just a second army. They're gonna keep food supplied during war effort times. You could probably make your own. One thing I found, one of Joe's trucks I find interesting, which he's trying to sell it again. He's got a square body. I'm guessing it's like a C20. A square body with the 8 lug axles and stuff. Ooh. And it's a flatbed. And he's got several places that he can like pin up a he's got an electric winch. He's got an electric winch he can put in a spot, and another spot to slide the square tubing that's got the pulley at the end of it. And what he does is when he needs to haul a gooseneck trailer, he has the ball in the middle of the bed. But if he's towing a car, he can pin up the rubber sling on the back of it. He can slide the pipe into a groove that's got the pulley at the end of it, and then he can hook his winch up into a spot of the bed where he can actually use the towing mechanism. He runs it off the battery. He's got like 2 batteries, and he's got some cables that run back to a separate battery and keeps it charged up. Oh gosh. You can probably make you a custom rig, maybe. Is it a long bed Silverado or is it a short bed Silverado? I'd say try to look for a short bed, like a flatbed, or weld you up one if you got a welder. If you do much welding, do some maybe make some thick platelets. Probably the best bet's just to find a flatbed, a short wheelbase flatbed for cheap. Then you could probably make some type of mounting spots for it. For like a winch. I'd say try to put it behind the or in front of the rear axles. I'm trying to remember how Joe has his set up. I'm, I'm really wanting to know. It might actually be hard mounted, and he just slides the square tubing with its pulley out from it. Undoes the cable, pulls the winch all the way up to it, to his or the cable all the way up to his winch, and then just puts the toe piping. Puts it up somewhere. Yeah, protect. Mm, yeah, I can understand that, man. I understand that. So probably your best bet would be finding a bed and putting it on. I understand like the whole having issues early. I'm just 25 years of age, and I had like Achilles tendonitis and plantar fasciitis had me down for the main like first 2 or 3 years of the 2020s here. I got so bad that I ended up actually, let's see, it's like I had to use the bathroom. I couldn't even make it, I think, like 6 to 12 yards to the bathroom. Like, trying to think. Yeah, 6 yards probably was the bathroom. I couldn't even make it halfway before I ended up messing on myself because of the pain. But it's real bad when you really use your senses. But I hope your eyesight gets better. It's no fun. My brother, he says he's legally blind if he doesn't have his glasses, and he's got some really, really thick lenses on his. Mm. Bless you. I hope everything does go better though. I mean, shit can get real rough. I've got type 1 diabetes that I deal with on a daily. I got that old insulin pump. I'll show you that. I keep this bad boy on me at all times. But hey, I can make all the diabetic jokes I want because I am one. Dun-dun. Yeah. Oh. Mess with the camera real quick. Swap it around. Oh, there we go. A little bit of chat. Sitting here waiting for a minute. Yeah, I hope you do. Diabetes is not fun. It's not fun whatsoever. Trying to keep your A1C down. It's hard sometimes. If you do ever become diabetic and you're trying to drop your sugar down, and you're trying to like drink. They say drink a lot of water. That diet green tea citrus, if you ever see that at the store, drink some of that, and that'll actually bring your sugar down. It's helped me countless times. I'll be like in the 600s, and I'll end up drinking some of that when I get like the really high blood sugars. Drink that; it'll make you urinate a whole like twice or three times as much as what water will for low bloods. And this is a thing. A lot of people, they don't understand the whole thing about diabetes when you have low blood sugars. Like, should you be eating that? It's like, my guy, I'm low blood sugar. I got to have something to bring it back up, so I'm not in the floor somewhere. Right, right. But yeah, that diet green tea, it does help. I can't stop yawning. Dang up. Probably about to head over to the donut shop here in just a minute because I don't want to sit here and then I'm bothering anyone. Trying not to loiter, which I went in and I bought me a drink. So I come to town way too early, but there's no point in going to Waffle House again. I should have just stayed there and drank coffee for a little bit. For me, it's usually I'll end up passing out as soon as I get home, which that's what I did. I think that's what's kind of threw me off this morning because I fell asleep as soon as I got home, and I woke up like 10:26, and I was kind of on and off, watching something on television or just closing my eyes for a while. I couldn't really get back to sleep. When I remembered about the birds not getting them fed, I was like, well, great. Now I'm going to be thinking about them, which this morning I ended up opening up a bag of feed and fed all of them before I ended up heading out here, which actually I'm going to have to head over to my brother's and help him with a air conditioning unit. He said the thing's like 100 pounds, so that's going to be fun to pick up. I hope I don't end up having like a bad leg cramp or pull my muscle on my back. I had that happen like last week, so it's going to be fun to deal with. Man, what to do today, because we got to try to put that unit in. Going to try to pick that lawnmower up and bring it back for the pull the motor out of it. See if we can get a diesel motor to have for some type of project. I'm going to try to fix my wife's car, so I'm not driving my mama's car all the time here recently. S10 has got some type of stutter issue. Have not been able to figure that out. Could be that carburetor that's like built into the head, or not the head, but the intake manifold. It's one of those where it's built into it's one specific unit. Thought about actually swapping that over to like a 2-barrel carb on an intake manifold that just you can have two separate pieces. Don't know what I'm doing with that truck yet. At some point, I'm gonna try to figure out something that's just more manual and more reliable. Might work on the shed if I've got time. I got a load of stuff's gonna be ended up having to work on today. I won't be recording any of it unless I end up getting the chance to work on the shed, maybe. Also depends on what me and my brothers end up doing too. I mean, it's the older cars. They're so simple to work on, especially when you if you can't figure something out. I just say YouTube's your best friend when it comes down to that, or people on YouTube, not YouTube specifically, but people on YouTube, because there's a lot of people out there. They'll do small little tutorials that just pop up and show stuff here and there. Like I say, it's kind of like the camshaft position sensor. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out where that was. And I looked it up, and it was just this one little piece that's underneath the power steering on one of those like 2000 model Chevrolet Impalas. But you have to. The issue with it, what I'm having trouble with, and I'm gonna end up having one of my brothers help me out, or both of them. I might actually just see if they can just do it, because I can't. I tried. I can't even get the pump out the way to actually get to the sensor, because you got like your pump here. Like, let's say you got your motor, the pump is right here, and you had to unbolt the few, like, think 3 bolts after you take the belt off. And after that, you move the pump out the way, and it's like right underneath the pump, and it's like in this little snitch. It's about that. You got about that much of a gap between the pump and where that sensor is, so you can't get a wrench underneath it. Yeah, that's usually how long it takes. I don't swap this camera back around. I don't start the truck up. I don't go ahead and move over to the donut shop. So I'm out of this gas station parking lot. But let's get that swapped over. Pop over there. Take it slow, because I don't know how early they are. it outside for a minute until they get done with the donuts. They'll be a minute before they get done with them.
We'll open at 6.
Oh, it's fine. Is it all right if I sit here?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Lady said it'll be till like 6 o'clock till they end up getting it all done. Oh, that's fun to deal with. That's real fun to deal with. An oil pressure sensor near that level. Yeah. I don't know. And that's ain't that '07 Silverado? Was it? Oh, that's good. That's good that you got that fixed just by knocking on it. Usually slapping around a couple times like an old television set usually works. Slap around a couple times till it gets the picture. Hmm. I don't know what is up with companies. They're building stuff to where you cannot work on stuff by yourself anymore, or they make it to where the public can't work on their own stuff. You have to send it to some stupid dealership that's going to charge you out the butt just to do some of the most simplest of things, like, oh yeah, change the oil filter. That's going to cost you about like $500. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what they do to those newer ones. Reason why I'm sitting here in a 52 to 53-year-old pickup truck. I like being able to work on my own stuff. I think that's basically what the whole heart of America is screaming. It's like we like to be able to fix our own things if we're able. I felt that, man. I felt that. That's another thing, that Nissan, man. You can blow the motor up in it, and you can have that thing swapped out in 15 minutes. It being a go-kart motor. That's fun. That's fun to deal with. It's even funnier. Some people, they're looking at you like, you can't. That little motor can't pull that truck. That one little one-cylinder motor can't pull that truck. Oh yeah, it can. Barely. I mean, it's still holding on. It's crawling, but it's doing it. That 10-horse diesel, though, if we end up getting one of those, that's going to be fun. And then another thing too, being a diesel, you can burn so many other things. Um, that Dodge you got, you said it was a '96 Dodge. Is it a gas power or is it a diesel? Oh yeah, the Suzuki trucks. Yeah, that would be pretty fun to put one of those into. I was asking about the Dodge if it was a diesel. Checking so it doesn't have a turbo on it. If it does, you can't really do it. But if it don't, you can you can probably use filtered, waste oil or motor oil, filter it, and you can actually burn use motor oil out of one of those naturally aspirated engines. I'm trying to think of what it is. I haven't done enough research to say like I'm old and wise on the subject. A gasser. Oh yeah, I think I only got. Well, I think only the fuel gauge is not working on this one here. But I don't know how many actual vehicles I have that have a working fuel gauge. I don't think a fuel gauge works on any of my vehicles. I just had to guesstimate on how much I had the last time I drove it and how far it would get me. Funny story though, the S10 it doesn't got one, and I told my wife I was needing to get gas because usually drive it 2 or 3 days. That third day would be like the last time you need to get fuel, and we ended up losing. We ended up the truck shut off on us near a gas station, and I ended up kind of running or walking over there to a station, which is it was pretty hilarious. But yeah, no gauges is not really fun. If you can help it, yeah, I definitely get the gauges. But I felt that pain though. I felt that too. Mine it's uh, man of the jokes I can make, but I really don't want to make them here. Mine is having like an identity crisis in that little in one of those. It's the S10. It's the S10. It has an identity crisis. It doesn't know whether it's full or empty. I'll be sitting there. It says it's on empty. I hit a bump, and that needle is jumping up and down, like twisting, turning, like all this type of nonsense, twisting back and forth. It's just seizuring on the dash. I'm like, well, I think I've got a ground wire loose somewhere. And it's just touching and untouching from somewhere I don't know. But it's just it doesn't know. It's in a phase. uh, I need to see about figuring out it started not working after I actually had to replace the fuel pump in it, or I thought the issue was the fuel pump. Replaced it, and the gauge worked for the first 10 to 20 miles, and then it cut out. So it's something to do with a faulty connection. Yeah. Oh goodness. Let's see, Aria, imagine it going off the gauge and batting any other gauge needle by it. It's like it's having a sword fight, but the gauge needle's just having a sword fight. Hmm. Oh yeah, speaker's blown. Funny enough, the car I borrowed from my mama was having speaker issues. Every now and then, the tweakers, those little small speakers, they cut out every now and then. And it's like it hooks up to the revs of the motor as well as the blinker system, and it would near scare the shit out of you when you turn the blinkers on because it's so loud when it hits. And I'll be driving down the road. I'll be driving down the road, and it just kind of cuts in about the same time you hit the blinker. It's just you just don't you don't expect it, and it just happens, and then it cuts out, and you're like, wait, that fixed itself. I didn't realize it just fixed itself. And my Pawpaw John's trying to sell this car for $8,000, and I'd just say it'd be about a $3,000 car at most. Uh, it's not worth that much. Yeah. So it's got to be something to going on with probably some bad connection or something like that. That's what I'm expecting. What I'm thinking, which I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a speaker guy. I'm not a speaker guy. I don't know much on speakers. I do now. I do plan on putting Bluetooth in this tow truck at some point, so that would be pretty fun. I've got to go. I got to dig around. Ooh, I'll hunt for one of those Bluetooth radios that go into the thing. Let me swap around here. I'll turn the light on. But I actually do got the original radio that went into this. And I'll see about fixing it up. I've got like a vent down there that I've got to fix at some point. I got to fix the cigarette lighter. I think that's actually got the CB radio wedge. This is one of those newer ones. What is that? A Cobra. It's just one of those newer Cobra radios. Oh yeah. Might have to send you down here to do my speakers too. I'm just picking on you. I'm just picking on you. My uncle, he was a speaker guy. He was big into having the big box speakers. My brother, he's a speaker guy, sort of. He's got it was you know how like Ford they've got basically the Mazda version of the Ford Ranger. He's got one of those, and he has these speakers. The speaker is quite literally bigger than my head, so they're massive. And he's got these boxes that are in the back of his truck. And when he first got the truck, he's like, you want to listen to my bass? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go listen to your bass. So we get in his truck and we drive down the road. We go a good distance down the road. And he plays something that's got, a decent amount of bass into it. And he turns the basses, I want to say to not a high volume. I'd say about halfway. And this thing rattled the windows. It rattled the front glass, the whole truck. I felt my whole body vibrating from the speakers in that thing. Yeah, he had some big woofers. I'm talking that he had the dogs out. Not his feet, but he had the dogs out. They were barking. My mama said it was so bad that she seen the fine china at the house rattling in the glass cabinets. I told him, it was like, when we get close, we need to turn this down so we don't, startle it. It could break stuff. And that we wasn't even close to the house, and it was rattling some shit. And I told him, I was like, man, we don't need to be doing that. It was pretty crazy. That box, it's still big. I can't remember how much he said it was. Like the system itself. I mean, it was built in a custom box built into behind the seats. You got that third compartment for that third person that nobody really likes. So you just kind of shove them back there. Felt that. Right there, close right now. There actually is. She really doesn't have any neighbors unless it's my uncle's, and I'm pretty sure they could have heard whatever because it echoes throughout the night, and that's probably a big thing too. Is that echo? It kind of sent all that kind of shockwave kind of easier, kind of like how you hear kind of like you hear a train after. Like at a certain time because it just bounces off. Yeah, like I said, it bounces a little easier. Sound bounces easier. But at a certain time of night, the chill and stuff, it hits a certain way, and it just that sound hits. Yeah, yeah. I'm not mentally here. I'm still trying to wake up. I'm just like, yeah, but you can do bunch of crazy things in a small nowhere town. At least just ain't like some big city where you got a cop on every corner and stuff like that. I was actually talking to my brother about that the other day. Was actually talking about California and how I told him, I said, yeah, because California, well, I'll never be able to complete going down Route 66. I mentioned to a different brother about going down Route 66 in this tow truck if I ever get it fixed up. I actually had a few plans. I planned on doing Route 66. I would like to get the dash signed by Ben Jones. So if you know Ben Jones personally, do message him. I kind of want the dash signed. And I mean, going to Cooter's place would be pretty interesting too. Yeah, maybe not too crazy. You really don't want to, you don't really be on the sheriff's bad side because yeah, know him personally, or probably could know him. You probably know him personally, living down the street from him. Uh, my my wife's family, her papa, he was a police officer for a few districts here and there. I think he might have been sheriff for a district at a time, but he was definitely a police officer for a while. And then he went into brick masonry, and he was a brick mason for a good minute. That's something I plan on trying to do is being a brick mason, or not being a brick mason, at least being a laborer for a brick mason. It's a rough job because you're having to make mud, and you had to bring all those bricks to the masons when they're sitting there laying down mud and putting up the walls. But he didn't mention to me a time about he was going to see about dragging me with him, or bringing me with him to see if that's something I would be interested in doing. Sadly enough, though, he passed December 1st of last year, so I was never able to do that. But he was a police officer. His son, or my uncle-in-law, which my uncle Brendan, he goes in and out of being into police. He did serve at I think was it I don't know if I think it was a prison for a time. He served at a prison for a time. Uh, he's a bad mamma jamma. One thing that's really cool, and I'll never forget it, especially it being the day of my wedding, me and my wife's wedding. He pulled up, and he walked in. He told me, he said, "Come outside real quick. I got something to show you." I'm like, "Okay." So we go out there, and he opens the door of his little red Dodge Neon, and he pulls out this sword. And it's like a, let's see, thought about. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Having bad knees and stuff it really brings you down. I told my wife, which I got an uncle that actually still works for the exact same company that does laying brick. But one thing that Papa did that my uncle doesn't really do much. My uncle Bubba, what he does do, he doesn't he doesn't go out from close to home. But Papa, he did actually go to like different places. I think he went to actually Hawaii at a construction site in Hawaii, and he'd just be kind of national. Oh, ooh, man. Yeah, that's no fun tearing all that. I'm lucky not to have anything like that happen to me. I just got like the Achilles tendonitis and plantar fasciitis. I've done something to mess up like one part of my leg, but I haven't had anything. I hope it gets better for you. That's rough. ACL, MCL, meniscus, meniscus. Oh, there we go. My thing messed up. That's probably like a 20 out of 10 pain, though. That sounds real rough. Oh. And I hope that doesn't cut out when we head back up. There's no good phone signal where I'm, so once I get these donuts and start headed up, it probably end up not probably end up cutting out on us. I can't stop yawning, dang. Shoot, I don't have to stop yawning. Let's see. We got near about 40 minutes until I'm able to go in to go get those donuts. They fixed some of them. So I'm seeing them come in and out, in and out. That's a good little shop. Let's see. That's a nice little shop they got here. Definitely support your local businesses. These guys here, they're from, I can't remember if they said they're from the Philippines. I don't think they're from the Philippines. But they're foreigners. And I can't remember, was it? I don't think it's Bangladesh. It might have been was it Bangladesh? Bangladesh, Philippines, or somewhere like that. I cannot remember for the life of me where they said they was from. But they're like the nicest people. And they you can tell like every time you eat one of their donuts, they put the best efforts and try to making their donuts the best donuts I've ever had. You know, past if I ever had any with my any homemade ones from home, but I actually past home. This is probably the best donuts you can ever get right over here. So yeah, we got about got about 40 minutes until I can go in, get those ordered. I'll leave y'all in the truck for a minute until we start riding up. It's like a talk about some ideas for some projects. I said I mentioned something about some projects. So yeah, on the Nissan, I did plan on doing a motor swap on it. It's going to be a diesel probably, and if it's not the Nissan that's going to be having the diesel swapped, I'm planning on trying to trade for that '62 Chevrolet I'd mentioned. It doesn't have a bed. It's a cab, front fenders, front hood. It's a 3-speed on the column, and it doesn't got no motor in it. So it's a perfect candidate for doing something like what we did with the Nissan, putting that 6.5 horse Predator in it. Uh, so I've got 2 options of trucks for this type of project, as well as 2 options of motors, and I'm just going to have to kind of sit, lean back, and kind of wait and see what's going to be probably the cheapest and best at the moment. But I don't see about doing a video on putting either. I think it's a Husqvarna mower. It's an old diesel motor, but it's got a alternator, and it also has a radiator on this mower, and the thing weighs a ton. Like, it took me and another brother to lift it up. And if I was talking about, I know I was talking about your leg, King 7427. If I just kind of ripped off on another conversation, my apologies. I'm just kind of here. I'm kind of barely brain functioning. I had enough coffee this morning, so my apologies on that, buddy. But yeah, if you're still wanting to talk about that conversation on your leg or something, just let me know. Back over on the project's end, I do plan on my brain's not awake. I do plan on trying to do the diesel project so we can run like some vegetable oil or canola oil off of a diesel motor for just a truck around the yard. Nothing for highway use. It ain't going to be able to go no highway speeds. Now the motor that's in the Nissan right now, it's eventually going to be pulled out and put into something else. So I'm going to end up taking and putting it on I got a little mini bike. We're going to see about putting a motor on a mini bike, and it's not going to be like a really energetic, really, it's going to be fun video, but it's not going to be something all pizzazz or anything. So we're going to do that. Back when this channel first started, which I've gotten rid of some of the videos because I did some name changing a little bit, so I couldn't really keep the certain video, so I don't have to go back and kind of go back over some of the content I had beforehand. And I'll do some bicycle stuff because I did fiddle around with bicycles for a hot minute. The one of the ones I was building a 1969 Schwinn Stingray lemon peeler. So I'll be doing stuff with old bikes. I got a '71 orange crate sitting on a bike stand right now that I need to do some work on. But also I have I think it's a 2006 Jesse James chopper bicycle. and it's fixed up to look like Merle Dixon's bike from The Walking Dead when Daryl had it during season 3, where he had the knobby tires and he had like the mount for the crossbow on his front fork. I got that type of setup on a bicycle, and it was rigged up to run a 49cc 4-stroke motor. So I still got the bike. The motor had been ripped off and put on on one of those little electric razor scooters. So I got that. I'm going to end up brain my brain. I'll end up actually putting a 79cc Predator on that bike, and then turn around and get it to where we can run it, to putt back and forth on, those old farm roads. No like big highway stuff, but like if you just kind of want to ride around the yard or ride to your neighbor or something, something where it's not no crazy streets. I don't work on having something like that fixed. The bike was actually built to be like a bug out bike. If you ever get into like the prepper type stuff, I was big. I was kind of big. My dad's kind of big into the prepper type stuff. I got kind of big into the prepper type stuff with him a little bit. So it's kind of more along the lines of if it can work, then if it can, it's easily maintainable and it helps a lot. Work on that type of cool stuff like that type of smooth jazz. So I got that type of project. Leave that to the side. That's probably going to be after we do the shed, which it's going to be a minute before the pallet shed gets built. I've got pretty much whatever work I did with that one live stream of me putting those few boards together before it rained. The last time I worked on that shed, I haven't had time to get back to it and work on it some more. Trying to think of what else we got going on. So yeah, let's see, go-kart. Oh, and the first 68 Chevrolet, we ripped the cab off of it. I'm going to make a racing simulator out of the truck cab. So I'm going to have a gaming steer wheel, gaming pedals, a gaming shifter, and then hook it up like a PC or an Xbox One or something like that, and try to like play Forza Horizon 5 if I ever buy the game. So that'll be pretty fun. Fix a truck cab. The plan with it, I think I'll end up fixing it up to where I could actually use it for gaming, and then I'm also going to put it for sale. So I want to fix this thing up to where it's a very, very cool gaming rig. Put it for sale, and then if I don't, right now I'm planning on pricing it for about $5,000 when it does get fixed up. I want to try to make sure it looks really nice, really clean before I price it, because I want this to actually be quality, put some quality work into it. But it's going to have, I plan on putting some a Bluetooth radio system in it, as well as, normal vehicle necessities for kind of like creature comforts for a cab. I didn't put a little heater in there, so if your room's cold, you can just like turn the heater on in the truck, have like electric heat, plug it up or something, and just either warm or cold. And you can enjoy that while sitting in like a little cab. If you have it like in the garage or something, but you want to play your video games, your racing games, and an actual truck cab, which would be pretty cool. So I do plan on having some type of small necessities for it and stuff like that. And that's just if I actually get around to doing this project. And I plan on actually recording some stuff if I'm able to. I don't really have like a type of phone stand or anything to hold anything. So it'll just be whatever I can actually record, That's another thing that's kind of fun about this doing this whole YouTube thing, or trying to start doing this YouTube thing. I don't know anything about it, nothing whatsoever. But be trying to work on just finding some content. Uh, but yeah, that. So far, that is what I've got planned for content so far. Yeah, so far. Let me say that about 5 more times. Uh, but yeah, and how is everyone doing? You still there, King? My phone could be cutting out. About 30 more minutes. That is a lot of wood. Fireplace wood. Firewood. Just now noticed the Pony Express is popping up. That's funny. Yeah, okay. Huh. Yeah, we got a few minutes still. Oh, it's time to go in. Still putting out the donuts. Got a first one here. I've been waiting. Been waiting all night. Put a tent out over here, just sitting at the front door like there's a long line. Like it's just a grand opening of something new. First game put out. Oh my. Oh me. It's quiet. Kind of wonder if. Can I turn. Let me see if I can. Ooh. Got the CV on. Yeah, probably just leave that off for now. Don't need to drain the battery. Maybe stuck here. Ooh. You can't really push it either. I ain't on a downhill slope or anything. Ooh. We got the donuts. Show the donuts. The delicious donuts. I'm gonna zoom. Can I zoom? Look at all them donuts. Delicious. Waiting on them. Waiting on those delicious homemade local donuts. Well, now they've got this one donut that is really good. It's like a bacon maple. I recommend the bacon maple. That's real good. Ooh, she might be letting me in early. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I'll be right back. Swap around. I'll put y'all back over here. And see about getting those donuts, and then we'll head up to Pawpaws. I'll be right back. We're not forgetting my keys. My keys. I have acquired the donuts. And this, it's like a sausage and cheese thing in a bagel. It's like the same nut stuff. I don't check up. All right. King 7427. I don't end up driving, so. And anyone that does pop up, I don't go ahead. I don't to be driving, so I won't be able to see comments or anything. But I guess it's just be now. Just be ASMR. I check on you guys one more time when I get over there. But after I get over there, I'm probably going to go ahead and hop off, and I'll enjoy my time with my Pawpaw Larry. And I got to call my dad, tell him that I'm going to be up over there too. So yep, I'll go ahead and start driving again. I still feel kind of bad that I wasn't able to help that guy. He said it was his flex plate that went out on him. Nah, man, this is kind of a hard spot to get past. But on top of that, too, you know, you don't know if people were telling the truth. Which I doubt he was trying to do anything, but you just don't know about people sometimes. I still feel bad for the guy though. I couldn't help him out. He has asked me up there when I was at that gas station before I come back from my drink. One thing that did sketch me out though when I was at that first one, and that first gas station I was going to try to stop at, but it was closed. I had a dark window tinted Dodge Challenger pull behind me and just kind of stopped. And I just kind of sat there and looked at him for a minute. I didn't know what he's doing. I think he was sizing me up. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, can I take this guy? He's got a cowboy hat. I probably better not. I don't know. That's a joke. I don't know what he's doing. I think he might have been on the phone, waiting on traffic or something. But I mean, it was a decent gap before someone pulled out. That was a sheriff car hauling butt in the middle of town. I'll eat my food a little bit while I'm going down through here. Notice like once I get to a certain high rev that you'll hear the belt squeal. It's actually it's between the power steering and the alternator. So I had both replaced, but the power steering seems as though I'm always having some type of issues, which I mean, I'm surprised a truck, you know, this old even has power steering. Or this truck actually has the luxuries it has, because it's got power steering and power brakes on it. And then I think 72 was the first year they actually came out with disc brakes on trucks like this. It's actually messed up. Oh, you gotta get that fixed at some point. Because it freezes out this cab, especially when it's cold. Golly, it's cold. Got my sunglasses on me. I'll be blinded when it comes daytime. It's gonna be fun. Dialing up my insulin real quick on that Nissan thing I just had, so I don't end up having high blood sugar. I'd say that. I can imagine somebody pop up somewhere just out of random. Are you texting while driving? Hold on. Again, they sound more like Carl Beecher. Are you texting while driving? You're not supposed to do that. It's not a phone. The phone is doing the live stream. How am I texting from like all the way over here? I don't even have it's not even a smartphone. Nah, just doing the instant. Making sure I'm clicking the right things. I can do this while watching the road. You got to count how many times I get it, and then let me check when I go back in my pocket. It's a long 2-lane. Going towards this way. Which, I mean, you might be able to see out the window or something about like maybe where I might be, but I'm not going to say locations. That's just for kind of like my own personal safety stuff. I might say state or whatnot, but I'm not really going to discuss exactly where I'm at. Not an early bird. watching, or to someone that probably might at any chance watch this, because I'm telling you, if you're able to do that, try to check it out. Check it out. I think usually the earliest I get up, probably 8 or 9 o'clock, when it's just the day that I don't have to go in. Now work, I'm usually getting up around like 3:50, 4:15. That cup holder did not want to be found. Didn't want to be found. Get my antenna fixed on the truck so I can actually start having the CB put in. A while back I had a CB hooked up and I was listening in to some of them talking. There's one guy that was talking from, I believe it was I think he said he was out over in the Pacific. I don't know. Or he was out in the ocean by California. Something other like that. It was radio. He had him a tower set up somewhere around there. Radio tower. And then there's a couple of truckers out here every now and then. One of them, I think his name was like Superman, or not his name, but his handle was Superman. Kind of wondering what my handle will be. Be nice to get a good old radio working in here though. I bought that CB. I think I bought the CB from Walmart. I did get the CB from Walmart, and then it's in the house about 5 more times. But got a plastic in my can.